Hello, everyone. Welcome back to First Listen Media. Today we have our guests from Florida, known as Glass House Point. What's up, guys?
Not much.
Doing
Chilling.
well.
How's the
Staying busy.
weather? How's the weather in Florida?
It's bright and sunny right now. Another Florida day. It's actually starting to cool off that time of year, so we're approaching some good weather.
Nice, nice. Last time I went to Florida, it snowed, but that was like years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a rare occasion here.
Yeah.
It's getting cold, and cold for us is like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
For cold for us is like 10 degrees.
Where are you
Yeah, it's
at?
nuts.
Connecticut.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cold. All cats.
Oh, it is. It is. All right, shall we get started?
For sure.
Where did Glass House Point begin?
So it began when we were in high school. So that's going on like, gosh, I forget the exact number of
I
years.
graduated 2015. I probably joined the band like
2013.
sophomore-ish junior year.
Yeah, it's
So,
2013.
Yeah.
And we just met in high school. We were all homies.
Mhm.
That's kind of how it started. And then obviously it snowballed way past that, like 8 years down the road.
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much just how it started. We played like a school talent show thing, kind of like typical startup kind of band story. And yeah, just rolled with it after that.
Nice. What inspired the band name?
So we actually needed to come up with a band name because we were playing said, show kind of talent thing at our school. And our bass player just kind of in like a desperate need to find a band name because we couldn't come up with one. He went on Wikipedia and just kept hitting random article for a couple hours. And then Glass House Point came up. It was pretty much this like, there's nothing really about it. It's like a mile marker and like somewhere in Virginia.
I think Jamestown.
Yeah, it's like a little blip thing. We're like, oh, that's cool. And so we kind of took on the name. And then I think now for us, that name's kind of become a thing where a lot of our music, we try to make it like surreal or like it's kind of like this dream world to a degree. So for me, at least, like Glass House Point is kind of becoming like kind of the destination that our music like takes you to, or like the world that we're trying to craft with our music and our visuals.
Mhm.
I kind of felt that while listening to Always Fading. I definitely felt the surrealism in that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely that's a dreamy one. It's the dreamiest one yet.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I loved it. And speaking of which, what inspired that song? Like, how did the writing process go for that one?
It's a good question. I mean, we were just coming off another EP called Verglaw, and that came out a few months ago. And then this song was supposed to be on that record, but then we changed producers and it kind of went a different direction sonically. So we just made this a new single and we're kind of starting to do that with a new producer we're working with. But yeah, I mean, I just started with the chords and me singing it, and then we worked through it as a band, took it into the studio and added some different elements to it. The female vocal, my girlfriend sang on it. Just kind of things that we just threw on there. And yeah, I mean, pretty like nothing crazy with the inspiration. It's just one of those things that kind of came about.
Yeah, because I was curious on the meaning of the lyrics, because that one, it does have a hard-hitting like sound to it.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like what we've been saying about like the lyrics so far are that it's kind of about, just existing and kind of a state of like ever fleeting moments and kind of like realizing that like it's like beautiful and sad, but like you might be in a moment with your homie, you're hanging out with a homie, you're with your girl, you're whatever, and you're like, this is awesome. But like, and even if it lasts forever for you till you die, whatever, like it's just constantly fading away. So that's kind of what it is. And the first verse kind of talks about people, not necessarily ourselves, but sometimes even ourselves. It's like sell out, phase out, die out. And it's kind of just kind of what seems like people do. And yeah, I mean, it's all that, and then packaged in kind of this surreal dream world that isn't really supposed to make sense. You can kind of, take those ideas and then kind of go, just dive into it and see what it means to you. But that's kind of the root of it.
That's incredible, and I get what you mean too. Like, you can just lose yourself in it and see what it means to you, because I totally felt that when I listened to it. I'm like, holy crap, Mind you, I listened to this at like 3 a.m. So,
Yeah, no,
well, not
sweet.
today, not today, but like yesterday, I listened to it at like 3 a.m. and my mind just had like a mind fuck. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
that's the goal.
Oh yeah, and that's still going through my head. Like, great work on that song.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's our best one yet. We got some more that are kind of the similar vibe coming too. So
Oh, I can't wait for that. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I cannot wait for that to come out. I'm really excited to hear the
Yeah.
new stuff. So, what is your normal songwriting process like besides what we just discussed?
Varies so much. Most of the time, Dylan will come to us with an idea that could be really simple, maybe just a chord progression and some lyrics. Then he brings it to the band room, which is literally a few minutes down the road. We just moved to St. Pete. We practice at my place, which is right there in the garage. It's all pimped out. So usually we'll come over with a little idea. We'll start working through the structure that he already has, and then we'll kind of start to add little embellishments along the way. It kind of varies. In particular, songs vary a lot once it's past the demo phase and now we're in the studio, like re-recording the parts that need to be re-recorded and stuff like that. And there's like that little bit of magic that happens where you add some cool effect or a tone or a synth or something like that, and it just pushes the song, past what that original demo was. So, but it's so different for each song. It's not like we have a cut and dry
For sure.
process. It's like kind of have to approach each one with like.
and what's cool too is I think, I guess not necessarily with this song or maybe even a couple of ones coming, but I think our process is like changing. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to get better, you know what I mean? We're not trying to like, there are pitfalls and strengths of the way that we've done things in every single level for so long. So, I mean, yeah, like, it's just exciting. I think we're starting to do a lot more demos where we're just kind of getting together and seeing like what can just happen like a moment and then taking it from there too. But yeah.
Hey, you always got to start somewhere and always get better from that point on. Always room for improvement. And I see that a lot with all the other stuff I listen to. I can definitely see the improvement with the new single.
Cool.
My next question is, who would you love to collaborate the most with, whether it be like in studio, on stage, and anything else in between?
Bro, a collab with like local natives would be pretty sick.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think of them. I mean, there's some crazy people you could collab
Yeah,
with
for
depending on
sure.
what you want to put out. But yeah, I love the local natives. I mean, I started listening to them in high school, and they just consistently put out bangers of albums. So I'm looking forward to what they drop next. But that I think would be cool.
Yeah, and they were a huge influence on this song too. I mean, they're a huge influence on just kind of how we write too. So shout out to them. Actually don't know if I'd want to do this, but just in terms of like collab, I was thinking I was actually watching the Dave show, the little Dicky show the other day,
Yeah.
and he one of the last episodes he does this whole thing with like Rick Rubin.
Oh,
That would be kind of hilarious. Not like hilarious, but it was just so funny in the show. But like I could just imagine all of us like monk style going
Yeah.
like Rick Rubin, having him guide us. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So
We've definitely grown fond of some good synth tones.
yeah, for sure. Mike Dean.
Yeah, Mike Dean.
Yeah, have Mike Dean do some synth stuff on a song. That'd be cool.
That'd be great. I wish I could see that.
One day, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, when it happens, let me know. I will share the hell out of that.
For sure.
My next question is, what is the best piece of advice you could give to fellow musicians and listeners?
For me, this is like not. I feel like this is a little bit of a cliche, but like what I have to remind myself constantly, just kind of just like keep going to a degree too. Is it's like we've been doing this for a really, really long time. We've toured, we've played with awesome people, we've met awesome people, we've worked with awesome people. We're still, trying to figure out how to find our footing in the industry and stuff. So I mean, I guess this is a message to like fellow music makers, but you kind of do just need to like keep pushing, because at the end of the day, it's like if it takes us another 10 years, but then we get to like where we got or where we want to be, or to a point where we can, just like you were saying, I mean, you had the perfect response for how we want somebody to engage with our music. You know what I mean? To have that reach more people, that's the goal. So it's just kind of like you just got to keep your head up and just keep digging, because it's hard out there. It's rough.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty similar in terms of like don't doubt yourself and what you're capable of or capable of creating. Because early on, you could just not play music solely off the fact that you're like, oh, there's just so many other people out there that are better than me and this and that, and like then you could stop before you even get started. So
Yeah.
like for example, I started in the band playing mandolin. And that was when we played that studio show that we were talking about, I learned how to play mandolin like a week or two before, and I'm like struggling with some like weird chords because like Mumford and Sons was big at the time, so we started in like this folky kind of rock phase and like transitioned to like more like ambient like spacey stuff, and like now that's in its own world currently. So I don't
Yeah.
doubt yourself, I guess, is the takeaway from that, because you're capable of a lot. You know, people are born creative and just throughout their lives are trained out of creativity. And so we, as individuals, have the capacity to create so much. And then when you link up with someone else, like you essentially create a third person in terms of creativity. And then we meet up with more people. So it's like this exponential thing happens when the four of us in the band get together and start putting our minds together on what, you know, we could sound like. You know, that's why it's interesting. Dylan will come to us with a demo idea or something like that he's working on, and then Ian on the bass hops in on just does some synth stuff or whatever. I'm over here adding in little guitar licks or whatever, and it just evolves. So
Sure.
yeah,
Find good homies too. That's I
for
think
sure.
yeah, that's a key.
I really love that response. Holy crap. This is what I love about this. Like, I get what you mean too, because everyone's like, oh, someone's better than you at this. Don't even bother trying. That's how I was when I first started this crap. Well, not
Yeah,
crap. I
that's
love
why
it.
like social media stuff can be a little dangerous. Like, don't get me wrong, like it's a platform for meeting other people or finding out about different artists and bands and things like that. Social media can be great, but the flip side of that is that like it's a very comparative kind of culture, and you could be scrolling through your feed and like, oh man, this band's doing that, or look at this great artist. I'm like nowhere near that, and then you're just like, you've started your day scrolling your phone, looking through stuff, comparing yourself to other people, and like he said it the other day, it's like you're comparing your, you know, behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel,
Yeah.
something like that. And it's just like it doesn't mesh
Yeah, it's a
in
disconnect.
terms of like reality. So it's like sometimes you just got to put that phone down and focus on like what you want to do or create. You know, be present. So.
Yeah, that's how I feel a lot when I do this, because I know there are people who are way better at this than me, but I just don't care. I just like doing this because I want to do it.
For sure. I mean, better is a relative term or subjective term. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
you gotta just do what you're called to do, and the more you do it, the better you get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Only way to do it.
Oh, yeah, I can relate to that. When I first started episode 1, I was terrible. Like, I accidentally cut the guy off a few times. I'm like, crap. And now I'm here 75 episodes later doing a lot better than I used to.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome, man. That's a lot. It's
The
a
next
lot
thing
of
you know,
people
you
to
hit
talk to.
episode 500 and 1,000, and you're just cruising. You know.
It hasn't even been a full year yet.
It's like the Malcolm Gladwell stuff, like the 10,000 hours. You know, you put 10,000 hours into podcast stuff like that, you're going to be like an expert in it. Just like us, you know, if we're like doing 10,000 hours worth of
For
music,
sure.
you know,
Hmm.
by the end of that, you're going to be, you know, proficient in whatever it is that you're doing. So it's just, you got to dig your head and just, you know, understand that anything good, you know, is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. You know, that
Of
lottery
course.
kind of jackpot mentality doesn't really work with like industries like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 1 in a billion people will be like blow up like instant sensation, but like
Yeah.
with a lot of other people, it's just like slow and steady upward trajectory. You know, takes a
Yeah.
while to get where you want to go, but then again, there's also the argument that with artists and musicians, like some would say, you never really arrived. You're always searching for that
100%.
next thing, and if you do feel like you've arrived, you're probably not.
Yeah, no, that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
For sure. All right. My final question of the evening and my personal favorite. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, that's a good question.
What do you love to do?
Work in music because it saved my life.
Awesome, dude.
I mean, that's a beautiful and simple answer. I would probably like say the same thing
Yeah.
too. Like I use music as a coping mechanism when I was younger. You know, stuff's going on. It just like feels good to pick up the guitar. Like I taught myself how to play guitar. Like I took a guitar class in school when I was really young, like classical guitar, and it like didn't stick. Just like teacher looming over me, like seeing if I'm playing every note right. Like playing all funky didn't work for me. And then like a few years later, like, I was like, I want to teach myself how to play guitar and start picking that up. And it gives you an outlet for, you know, whatever's going on. You know, some people have music, other people have sports and art, things like that. It's just very important to have an outlet or something you can channel, you know, good vibes, bad vibes, whatever it may be. Like you can channel, you know, something that's happened to you into something else. Because for
Exactly.
people that don't have an outlet, I feel like it's just so much going on every day that you can literally just like explode.
Yeah, for sure.
It hurts too. Like if it wasn't for music, I'd be in the ground right now. And I wanted to give back to music, so I just started this up. I went in blind, and here I am,
Yeah, that's
almost
awesome, dude.
almost like 10 months later.
Yeah. And that being said, man, like I really appreciate again, like you listening to the song and not just listening to the song, but like experiencing the song, like is as kind of cheesy as that sounds, because yeah, like it isn't every single day that we hear somebody just like give like a feedback that just feels honest and there's just like an honest connection with it. And like we're really honored that that you took a listen and that can do that for you, and because it does it for us. So yeah, man, we really appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Music is a powerful thing, and it can help us in more ways than we realize.
Yeah.
And that's why I do this. I want to help as many musicians as possible. That's the only reason why I do this, is just to help as many as I can, like spread their stories and their music.
100%. This is our first interview of this single too, man. So you're the first. So you has absolutely helped us. So we appreciate it.
For sure.
I will release this as soon as possible.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.
All right. I think that actually wraps things up.
Cool.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, keep your ears peeled. We'll be dropping some new stuff soon.
Thank you guys for being here, and you all have a great day and stay safe.
Man, you too.
Peace.
Peace.